Yeah, kill that stuff. The thing I wanted to say is that I got my first guest experience on appearance on LP. I
Oh.
was a guest of Rainiac666 on his Donkey Kong Country 2 LP. His mate Chunky was absent, so he searched for some substitutes. Well, and I just thought that it's my opportunity to get my first guest appearance. And well, maybe you notice that I'm a little bit quiet on these videos. That's because it's kind of hard to keep up with Rainiac because he's first of all he has his English accent, which is quite hard to understand for me, and also he's anyway babbling, so don't really need to.
Oh, this is so cute.
I put the links into the description. Maybe I also do a whole playlist with my with that guest appearance and maybe also the future one. I hope.
Oh, this is so cute.
Yeah, I pretty much sucked at Donkey Kong because oh my god, the last time I played this game was like 5 years ago. Um, I was anyway never really good at Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong games. Kill that goblin. Nice. Kill it. There we go. No, we don't kill those meat bugs. They are annoying as hell. This guy is Cavalorn. He's a random guy where we can. I don't care.
Oh, this is so cute.
I
Oh
have no idea
man,
why I
with
hit
the
this
plug.
appearance.
I remember that when I this was like the first like guest thing I did as I said also in the LP, and I was really nervous about it because still up to that point I was really insecure about my English. So this was kind of a big feat, especially because Rainiac666, he's still actually around, and he is like I also said, he's quite the.
I don't know. I just have a weakness for English accent, British accent. Oh,
Oh, I'm still babbling
this
about it.
chest isn't even locked. There's Cavalon's keys, some teeth, a wolf skin, torch, beer of course, and a picklock. So the key is for. Okay, we just actually fight those mole rats. I don't think
Yeah, he was also in the Worms Armageddon matches.
to Mordok. And this
I think
guy
he
killed.
also.
Huh? Oh, that was a critical hit.
I don't have really have contact with him
Wow,
anymore,
I
but
did
I've always
a lot of
wasn't.
damage to
He
those
was
mole
always
rats.
always a good guy.
There's actually some neat
Did
stuff in
them
it, like
French and the third guy.
spell
Don't remember.
scroll,
I guess the third. I think the third guy was the cold one,
a short bow,
an American LP who is
arrows.
not active anymore as well as Ranchai, as well as Ranchai.
Yeah, there's a torch. There is
They
a chest.
pretty much. I think Rainiac also doesn't
Skin of a
really
shadow
LP anymore. He
beast.
does like I think
This is
Doctor Who
quite
stuff.
tough enemy. Really
But
don't
I'm still
thing
subscribed to him, but I don't
torch
really
out.
watch it anymore.
Okay, wasn't too bad.
The whole
This is
LP is
fireball
60
arrows.
episodes and about like
Get
9 to 10
a
hours.
crude sword. Withered eggs would be good.
I'm watching myself play Gothic.
And
Like,
an awfully
I did this
cool stuff.
LP
Thank you, Cavalon, for those
almost 10 years ago in
stuff.
2008. And you can maybe hear like
This is weird.
the
I
difference
just
in voice.
picklock,
And it's just,
picklock
it was a
this.
suggestion
Yeah,
from
okay.
Malvadrix to do
Let me
as
get
kind
the
of a
key.
thing, as kind of
Where's the
a
more rats?
nostalgia
I have no
thing.
idea.
Not sure if I'm going
Now
to
I know why I couldn't
rewatch the
do
whole
that.
LP or if
Just
that's
kill
just
the
going to be the
scavengers.
like a one-off thing.
Okay, kill the scavengers.
It's just it was kind of an it's kind of an interesting
Mercy,
idea, so I
mollies.
figured I want to try it out at least once.
Hello, mollies. Ah, just screwed. I just fight them.
Yeah, in hours I would say like around 10 hours I would say. So it would take me like
Start
3
doing
streams to
someone else could do the
uh
work for
rewatch
me.
the whole LP.
You got some work, Mordrak.
Just finish it. The first chapter is just so good. Yeah.
This
Yeah, I
is
think
so long.
in like all kind of Piranha games, the first chapter is usually the best. If it has like this kind of open, get to
This guy
meet all
just left
factions,
me.
etc. Kind of build up, which
Yeah,
I
there's
guess Alex will also have.
there we go. That's
Like the game always starts to
I guess I wanted to
like
collect one for
fuck
kill,
up as
but
soon as
it's
or
Raven something, which is
your voice and the
restores some
sounds are
mana.
so
And
related.
because we are
Yeah.
going to be a mage, we need some
But you can hear that there's quite a difference between the exit.
potions, but we got
No, the original LP is not dead. It's just a problem that I do want to stream. I do want to have a regular stream,
episode.
but
So we see us in the next
like I do like to
episode,
stream,
which is with
but the thing is basically I mean I have the choice between doing a stream or doing the LP. And I just can't have like time wise I just can't do both at the same time. That's the problem. So currently I'm just choosing to stream instead because I work full time. So it's kind of, and I'm also having also more some private life stuff going on. So basically there's no time left for to continue the original LP, but I do want to finish it. It's not dead in the sense that I'm never going to continue it. It's just a matter of finding the time to continue it. Because at one point, well, I'll see.
I'm just such a wimp running away from a
When
wolf.
the first time that I used to think the
This
same,
guy's
but
pumped
think
with
later
it.
just
He just had to
explode
get
most.
him
Ah,
from,
yes, chapter 3, the focus search was also really great. Like
from,
all the like especially all the locations where the focuses are all completely different, which is really nice to experience. Especially, I think I still like the mountain fort the most because it just looks. Especially, it has also this kind of like silent storytelling about it, in the sense that you just have this old abandoned mountain castle, and there's no real like explanation to it, I think. And you can just like explore it a little bit, look through it, and just kind of puzzle together yourself, maybe what it is about. The atmosphere thing kills you, and you have to be really careful. Yeah, this is also. I still really love like the hostile word at the very beginning, like that. You are not welcome here. Everything kills you. Everything kicks your ass. You just have and so you have to keep your head down as good as possible in the beginning.
I also like how Mordrak is a completely beginner with the one-handed weapon. He's just holding it in both hands. I mean, he's not intelligent. He's just such a moron.
Gothic 4. Well, yeah, I finished Arcania a week ago. It took me 7 hours to beat the game, which was the hilarious thing. Like I basically did a run through where I just ran through fucking everything. I played it on the easiest difficulty, but I just wanted to see, just to demonstrate how easy it is to skip so much shit in the game, because you could just run through everything in this game because it's so badly made and paced and whatever the fuck.
There's the problem of having
A little quiz about Gothic knowledge. Well, I have to say I'm a bit rusty, but well, if you have shoot if you have some questions.
Give this to him. It's a precious ring. It's your ticket to see Lars. You need a good reason to be allowed to meet him. Well, thinking about it, I think I'll stay
often
here
need to teleport to a new camp because
I've
living
heard enough for now. And
Pain
things
it
are
makes
heating up in the old.
That's true.
If you want, come and meet me at the bar. It's the hut out on the lake. Take care.
I will. Okay, this is the new camp. This camp is full of rogues and bandits.
But I'm not sure how if the atmosphere of Gothic 1 can be replicated at all. Like, for example, in Alex. There's always this factor which most people forget, which is kind of an insidious one, is the thing of nostalgia, or just the childhood memories. Because, I mean, nowadays in this age, you're basically just you're through. Like you are not as impressionable anymore as you were when you were younger. Like I remember being scared shitless out of through in some parts of this game. Like I was scared shitless going into the woods, or being scared shitless trying to engage some enemies. But I don't think it's not possible anymore for me to experience that, because I know it's just a game. Oh, when the enemy kills, I can just try it out, and the enemy kills me, then it kills me. Well, whatever. And this genuine fear, I think this is just not possible to develop anymore, because if you have like a system where it says, oh, there's some sort of permadeath in it where you just shouldn't engage to enemies, you will start to get frustrated and just say, fuck this game.
This quest is absolutely pointless. You can do that, but it
Let's
gives
see.
you
What's
not
the
any
first?
experience at all.
Let's try.
You
What's
just
the
skip
first
that,
name
go
of the
to bed,
crazy ball in
then
the sec
next
camp?
morning if you
Ball
go
Netbeck,
to
I
left,
think.
you just want
That's the one. You mean the one with the
Save
dancing and
note
skipping trees?
again, so it's just going to ignore lefty.
He was the
Do you
awesome,
intend to go through this
awesome
gate?
feeling.
Do you intend to stop?
Yeah,
No.
I have to say, like the feeling of like this, I would say this oppressive feeling of the world. I really found that in the Dark Souls games back as well,
The only ones who stick together are
because it was all this game's world is also really hostile and just barren, and I mean it's even worse in the sense that it's a bit no it's full of undeads, but it's still full of some people clinging to some sort of shred of hope or some hope for a new age. And I found myself quite at home in the Dark Souls games,
for leaks in the dam. I reckon there's a
and also I guess in the sense of difficulty, because the game can also be quite unforgiving in that sense.
If it carries on, the whole dam will
I
soon be
played Prevent Feeling
undermined.
of Commission when I joined the camp.
Okay,
Ah, yes.
we just
Or I
killed
remember
this-
one thing I also remember is
kill that beast lady because it's
like there were some
way
really
too
some
strong for us at the moment.
some times in the
Also
game where I
wait for
was
late
generally
chat.
scared or generally panicky. Like
Oh, where we
the
actually
first
need to
big
go.
panicky moment I had where I went to the sect camp with
Oh,
Bal, whatever
Just
his
not
name
worth
is,
it yet.
and then I wanted to go back to the old
First
camp
you
because
get,
like it was deep in the night. I couldn't
go-
find a place to sleep,
we
and I
get
was
our
lost
armor
out of my
first.
mind because it's so dark, and the
It's a
sect
little
camp is
bit
such a
annoying because it's
such a
quite long way.
such a maze if you don't know
Go to
the
actually free mine.
geography of it.
This is the
So I
most,
tried to
uh,
desperately find a sleeping
camp,
place and
but
just got
unlike
kicked
the old
out of it every
camp,
time. Like I tried to find a
collect
place to
ores
sleep. So
for
I kind of felt like a hobo in the end, like not
for
welcome anywhere at
second to
all.
king, they collect the ore
And
to
then
cross the barrier.
I decided to okay, then I just go back to the old camp because I just can't run through the night every time. So I go back to the old camp where I know I have a decent place to sleep. And even that was really hard because it was so dark. It was really hard for me to find my way back.
Ole. Haha.
Oh man, look at me bragging.
Haha.
So what happened is when I ran back, I got lost and found myself in the middle of the woods where I got assaulted by by a shadow beast. And holy crap, that was a scary moment as well.
The screaming wasn't that
Like that was I think one of the parts where I just noped out of the game and just closed it for a while.
As I say, they don't collect the ore for getting stuck for getting stuck with
Yes,
the
it was
king.
bad.
They want to blast the barrier with the ore because the ore
Yeah,
has a
this is like one of the
tiny
one of the moments where
magic.
you realize how unfinished Gothic 1 is when you try to be a mage in like go the mage route in the sect camp or so. You expect to become a Templar or so, and then a guru or so, and it's like, nope, that's not gonna happen. You're gonna be stuck in that circle of magic. You oh no, as in the sect camp you never become a mage. You never become. You never let to learn any circles, right? I'm not sure actually.
Okay, we need to watch out. There's anywhere.
Spells in the
There
steep.
he is.
Ah,
There's some more
I think mage in this game is quite the easy mode, especially because you can exploit. You can. There's so nice, so horrible mana exploits with like the fireball, where you dead,
We see that maybe later
very
some passages in the
where
forest
spells
with
cost
like
0 mana if you don't charge it at all. Like you could
runs away from
fart
the
fireballs for free,
It's kinda neat.
which made the fire arrow basically
Okay, we
useless
reached
because the
P9.
an uncharged fireball did as much as a fire arrow and cost no mana,
Shut up.
which was a huge oversight in the balancing.
I'm going to skip some really unnecessary dialogues because I realized in the first videos that there are some past the first
Videos.
video in the old camp takes like 7 minutes only full of dialogue. Or stop smoking. You can get your dope later. So this is Swiney.
Who are you? I'm the best mining engineer this damn colony has ever seen, my boy. I make sure half our boys don't go getting themselves killed by falling rocks just because they're too stupid to scrape the right places.
We're all
Oh, did you install Welt der Verurteilten, Uri?
Yeah? Well, just
That's
don't
that's the
forget
mod I
to
started playing as, but never really finished it. Like I stopped like in the middle of chapter 1 or so because
know why we're doing
it started out hard. But the thing is, I found a really ridiculously strong weapon that basically made the challenge just fly out of the window.
that's the most. Do you at least have any
Running PB against magic is overpowered in every game. It's in well. On the other hand, to break a lance for Piranha Bytes, I have never seen a game in which magic is balanced decently, because it's just so hard. I think that's kind of an impossible task because it's always the same. In every game, mages start out weak as hell, but then get incredibly overpowered. It's like every RPG, every game I've seen is always like that.
Let's play Gothic.
I mean, every Dark Souls games is, for example, the exact same. You start out with the most piss poor spells, and then you I walked all the way back to shorten the time with piss poor spells, and then you get like huge fuck off AOE things. Or Divinity Original Sin 2 was also exactly the same. Most balanced for the sake of content. Okay, I have no idea about MMOs. So, not sure.
And it just twits you. And I hate to get twit.
Now, where are you going?
Where can I go?
To Laris.
And I want to see Laris.
I want to see Laris.
I doubt he'll talk to you.
Just you leave that to me.
I won't stop you.
I hope so.
Where do you want to go?
I want to meet Laris.
Laris is here, but you need a good reason to disturb him.
Yeah.
Are you deaf?
God damn it. What's your freaking problem? Mordrak sent.
Mordrak sent me.
Mordrag hasn't been seen here for some time. He's probably changed over to the old camp.
I
No.
came here with him.
Mordrag's back? If you meet him, tell him Laris wants to see him.
Mordrag gave me something for Laris.
What is it?
A ring.
Certainly a precious piece. Okay, you can see him.
Thanks. So, this is the leader of the bandits, Laris. And I hate his room because it's full of stuff. If you it happened to me that I accidentally picked the wine or something else, and then he's not very happy about it. So,
Oh yes, this was really a pain. Also the reason why I didn't pick a dialogue option, like throughout the whole LP, I wanted to, like, because it's such a long game compared to the LPs I did before. Although I mean, it is shorter than a Second Reality, like the other two games I played. But still, like, I wanted to minimize the dialogues because nothing is happening. Blah, 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 blah. Hand. So I always wanted to minimize the amount of dialogue. Only like pick the necessary options so it doesn't like drag on for too long. Especially because if you're there, like, you have the problem, like,
okay.
you don't want those 11 minutes just be full of like those levels, those videos be full of just dialogue. You also wanted like some stuff happening. So this was always the problem I felt during these videos or making this LP. Because back then in the LP days, or like the first LP days, it was always like these kind of rules in the sense that, for example, like, oh, there you, like, there used to be, or there are still screenshot LPs, but they're just not popular at all anymore. But like, you used to say, alright, like action games with stuff happening, those are going to be video LPs. But stuff like RPGs or other text-heavy stuff, those should be screenshot LPs. So I kind of was like breaking a cardinal rule by making a video LP. A video LP about an RPG. So what I wanted to do, like, as a thing, like as a in between, is to say, okay, I'm going to make a video LP of an RPG, but I'm going to just only have the necessary dialogue to not slow it down too much. But I mean, nowadays this is just nowadays nobody fucking cares anymore,
Looks quite funny.
or
He's
nobody.
looking at my
I mean,
crotch.
nowadays you just make video LPs. Like, I mean, when was the last? Or did anybody? That's a okay. General question. Did anybody ever read a screenshot LP in this chat, or even knows about that there are screenshot LPs out there? I'm actually curious if that's even still a known thing.
And that is a popular occupation here. Too popular. I can hardly deliver as much as they want to have.
Yeah, Swampweed is, well, the dope of this game.
It's interesting to
Why
hear.
did they send an extra man here?
Read one of
The
the
city
Dune.
was meant to help, but he just spends all day in the bar on the lake and trades his weed for Weissschnapp.
Can I have some more?
Spirit.
Ah, thank you for following,
Don't
Rarish.
expect any help from him.
I could help you sell your weed to the people.
I can only entrust such
Well,
a large amount of weed to
I would say there used to be a thing.
gifts.
Like, yeah, most screenshot LPs, like, like,
They'll want more. Which
Screenshot
means I
LPs,
can
doesn't
sell
it?
more.
I thought you could hardly.
yeah, something awful was still the mother of, like, the place which LPs were birthed. Like, back then in the day where there were no decent way to record videos,
You in many different ways.
people only did screenshot LPs, and then Slowbeef,
Powerful magic of the
one of
sea.
the admin, no, he's just a mod of the LP subform, started to do the first video LP of the NES or Genesis game of the Immortal. He was like the pioneer. Back then in the day,
Nugget should be enough.
there was no decent video host.
Just give me the wood.
Okay, give me the.
Like, people hosted out on Google Video, if anybody remembers that.
Sure.
Like, Google Video was before Google
we
bought
just need to
YouTube.
share the wheat, not the wood, to
And so
random
most
folks
people just
around
did
the house.
screenshot
So we
LPs. And
talked
then
to this guy,
Then,
which
I
certainly
mean,
never
also
heard of
YouTube's
the guy,
video
and
quality
he
was
told me the whole
absolute
day
shit back then in the day.
to
It was
buy
actually
that.
like
Want some swamp?
people on something awful in general just looked down at people hosting stuff on YouTube. Like, they used other
So we
video
need to repeat
publishing
that
sites that
process
are
9 times.
for the most part
It's
dead
a little
now.
bit,
Like, there was
bad
Viddler,
Oh,
Viddler.com,
nothing about it.
or Blip.tv. There also used to be at one point Game V, which was specifically for video games, but that one didn't stick around for long. But YouTube was always looked down, especially like when the quality got better. There still was the problem of the 10-minute video time limit.
Let me get final reward.
But yes, screenshot LPs are still kind of a thing and something awful. There are some, like, the nice thing about screenshot LPs is especially about, like, what you can do is like an interactive LP where, like, with turn-based stuff, for example, where you can, like, people can, like, vote on what to do next. Like, for example, one thing I've seen that isn't Reddit though is like a democracy Civ, which is like a Civ 5 game where what somebody plays, but he constantly like puts up people to a vote, or like also has like the different kind of, like, he is the like, they vote for a military minister, a economic minister, and they like have the do the decisions like, oh, do we now put production to that, which was kind of an interesting thing. Yeah, Google Video was awful. Man, I still remember watching some LP videos hosted on there, because the advantage Google Video had over YouTube was that there was no time limit, but the video quality was atrocious. Like, it butchered those videos so badly. I remember watching the famous Daikatana LP from Proteus and Suspicious, which is really hilarious, by the way. If you still want to watch it, like, it has incredibly shitty quality, but it's just so entertaining because Suspicious is basically the guy who has a clue about the game. He's like really savvy about it, and Proteus is the guy that just doesn't give a shit. He's just basically ragging on the game the whole time, and it is such a weird, like, weird combination of two people. but for some odd reason it just works out really well, which is fun.
Okay, just to put the dolls one, we just stop by this trader.
Let's research how things were back in the middle of 2000.
I'll buy a fur.
It, well, it is interesting, especially like just in general how it works nowadays or how it used to be. Like there are so many things that are completely normal today that are so, which even I am surprised sometimes. Like, oh yeah, that used to be a thing, or that used to be a problem back then. And they're like, oh hey, the 10-minute time limit. Yeah, that used to exist. But now it's just nobody gives a shit anymore. Or it's not a problem anymore.
You read it. And we learned how to remove the sting from the blobfly. So, in the next episode I return to Bulk again and get my little reward. So, until then, au revoir. Grüezi and welcome back around to Let's Play Gothic.
Good
We
website design.
finally shared the way to all the random bandits.
Did I have something to say about website design? Good website design.
Exactly. Come over here.
What does he want? I don't even remember.
What do you want?
You've just arrived, haven't you? I noticed it straight away. There are a lot of things you need to know. I can teach you a few things. Besides, you have to watch who you talk to. Butch, for example. That's the guy over there, next to the campfire. Be aware of him.
Oh man, yeah, you're right. Like YouTube is so much. Like I remember you always were afraid of every single website update from YouTube because it always got worse. Like, there were always just features removed or something else.
So we finally go back to
Programs
Bulk.
Kaza or email for requirements. Hey, don't you forget about LimeWire or Napster, obviously,
The first new
or
customer
Mega
in the
Upload.
city.
That's one of the new ones that got shut down.
You have as a reward.
We can
Ah,
either
yes.
have some
I was quite the avid LimeWire user. I remember that. And every time I searched for something, like the first 3 or 5 results instantly popped up and were always like 3 kilobyte like virus files, which was awesome. Because it was always like that what you searched for, .mp3 or something like that.
Tell me to join the Brotherhood. Your request is modest.
Yeah, Mega Upload was more in the like 2010s or so.
Is one of the lower gurus, just like myself. E. Baryon has made him one of his advisors. That has not done him any good. He now thinks he's so important that he'll talk to nobody but his disciples. If you give him this here, it'll loosen his tongue.
And he just gave us a prepared joint, a prepared dream call. I'm sorry. It's more or less the same. Yeah, there are 3 types of joints. I don't remember. Dream call, black wise, and green novice, as far as I remember. So we are going to see this guy, Kronos. He's one of the mortar mages. And he has some interesting stuff for us.
Greetings.
Mortar mages, not water mages, mortar mages. Those are the mages that have like magical mortars.
Or give you some useful items. What can I do for you?
I want to trade.
I want to acquire magic writings.
So here's some useless books. Then there are rings, which we won't buy. But here's some good spell scrolls like the ice block rune, which we are going to buy already now. Some spell scrolls, pretty expensive, but it's worth it. Oh god, I hope I have enough stuff to sell. Otherwise, this would be a little bit.
Look at me buying shit I can only use like 3 chapters later.
Sell that, sell this too.
I'm not seriously going to buy it. The ice rune I could only use like in chapter 3 or so when I learn the next circle. But I'm like, fuck this shit.
There
And
we
yes,
go.
ice block spells. Probably the
So,
most useful
the-
thing.
For using
Hey,
runes, we need to
climb
learn,
Shuda-
the
Climb Chodari or
circles.
Clam Shudre?
We
Shudari?
can only learn if we are a mage.
Yeah.
But I just buy that rune because I
Motor,
don't need to-
motor mages. Motor mages is also
I
quite
need to
nice.
show up
Quite
here
nice
to
term.
get that rune. It's just because because I'm lazy. So we're going to visit the other ball Isidro, who is
God,
here at
wizard.
the bar.
I kind of who talked like that again? Elmer Fudd? Didn't Elmer Fudd also say
Forget it.
the soup
Silas
and the
only wants to see
terrorists?
scrapers and rogues in
Ah, like clam chowder and
I'm a
Shudari.
scraper, and I'm thirsty.
Is that the name of a terrorist? Shudari?
filthy rats. Come on in.
Maybe I'm an
You need the
idiot.
arm to get in
Shudari.
here, otherwise he just
Doesn't
kicks
ring
you
a
out.
bell.
And ball Isidro sits there in
Shudari.
his lonely
I don't know.
corner.
I'll tell you something, you have a problem. Bal Kagan will make sure you'll be replaced. What? The sleeper have mercy on me. I need to get rid of this stuff.
You don't look very happy.
I'm not. I need to get rid of a whole pile of weed.
Okay, who is that?
You're here to sell goods for the
Anyam
Septicon.
Shudari.
Yes. I just can't
British
bother.
Islamist, socialist, political activist, convicted of supporting for the name of the
Cause all that. You just go
I almost
right
wanted to say the usual stick, but yeah.
Here you go. Have another drink on me.
Thanks, man. I'll
Let's see.
drink to your health.
When did he get convicted? Ah, whatever. It's an interesting name, I have to say, at least.
Think about it. Give me the weed.
You're here on a mission? Alright, I'm curious. What is your mission then?
To get rid of this stuff.
Are you going to tell me about the Lord and Savior,
Good. Here's the stuff.
Oh, how did you find the drama Discord?
400 ore for it. That
It
would
is
be
very esoteric.
200 for each of us.
Because
Come back as soon as you have the ore.
I am a regular on the drama subreddit.
On myself. I feel much better now that
It's
I'm
supposed to be a
rid of the
secret.
stuff.
Seriously?
Very comfortable.
I used to join that play. I used to join that when it was still public. I think there was. Did you guys like reorganize or something like that?
Sold the weed. And my 200 ore?
Because I suddenly
It is.
you won't respond to the
Now I don't give it.
in the arrivals channel. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did you ping me like a couple of times?
It was a good idea to do business with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, please say something. Okay, I'm very sorry about that. I didn't pay attention.
So we bring him just 400 ore.
I'm sorry, Senpai didn't notice you guys. But yes, the thing is, I did join the Discord, but I've been only lurking so far.
Ore, and hopefully he's happy. I'm saving that because I see it coming out of
Because I'm not sure. I think I'm just not. The problem is your Discord is way too risky to use at work, and usually at home I'm usually not that much of a. I'm not using it that much except for myself.
So
Well, I didn't realize you guys. I didn't realize you guys. Thank you very much for approving me. Man, you guys are dedicated. Hijacking other people's streams just to get to approve them. But thank you very much. I try. I'll post some bussy later on. Is that okay?
Well, at the moment we're down here.
All very reasonable response
Yeah,
to an
just,
unreasonable action.
not the weed. I can sell it to the people like we did that in
Oh yes, I guess I'll post some bussy as a sorry for that.
sell it at normal traders.
But I haven't.
There's also some good stuff. If you smoke
You
that,
are a white whale now.
get 5 experience. For
That's-
doing this.
I guess thank you.
If you smoke a Northern Dark,
Thank you very
you
much.
get
I appreciate your efforts, guys.
And if we smoke a Dream Call,
That's the last thing I
you
expected.
get 2 mana. It's a little bit weird, but well.
Also, I'm confused. Is my stream somewhere like linked? Stream somewhere linked in my Discord profile or something like that, or how did you find me exactly?
Just to say, hey, I'm increasing my mana. Okay, they will probably stick you into the building with the caution rooms. So we're pretty much done here. There's nothing left we can do at the moment.
Oh.
The quest with the
Linked.
lurk, with the damn lurk, we can do that later.
Oh well
because
then, I
the
guess.
lurk is at the moment too strong for us.
Well, make sure to follow and subscribe
Well,
then.
the rest of it
But
is just
whatever you
going to
please.
a new mine, which is pretty near. I can even show
Alright.
As you see, we're at the white arrow, and our destination is the orange cross. So this is
Smashed it 5 minutes ago, but
So we'll get there.
what? I didn't get a note.
episode of
Or
Let's Play Gothic.
did I get a notification? I forgot already.
Oh, wow. Good as well, and welcome back around to Let's Play Gothic. As you see, I'm still in the new camp because I totally forgot something. We
See, I knew it.
there's
You
a
were
chance of
caught.
getting, 5
I am so disappointed in you, person that has
So
a
the only way
name
to
like
talk to
a
this
Islamic
person,
terrorist.
which is,
I expected
this
more
new
from
guy
you.
who makes the rice snaps.
What are you doing?
I'm making rice snaps, boy. Here, have
So did you guys alienate everybody else in the chat, or is there somebody still alive?
Can I some more?
rice, man.
Oh my god! Now he actually did follow me.
While I'm busy, the rice lord's lapdogs leave me alone.
Can I some more?
You tell me about the
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Swine.
More e-fame for me.
Thugs pick on the beef and force 'em to work in the fields. The only one
Appreciate you
standing up
guys.
to him is Horatio, but he doesn't do violence. Well, I did once hear him say he'd love to smash the rice lord's head in, but he never
You're done with our business. All right, you guys take care.
So that's all we
Playing
need to
World of
know,
Tanks.
because this
As
guy
always, are you
should
playing World of Tanks?
can, increase our
I'm
strength,
still surprised you're still playing that, considering they
but you
didn't
have
they
to talk to this guy.
like the moment that I heard about you guys having like premium animation
First time I played
ammunition you have to
Gothic
buy that you just literally throw money at people. That was
to do that, he
kind of a
shows me this,
interesting
trick
thing,
with
or interesting aspect about it,
increase my strength. What the heck is
to
this
say the
cat
least.
doing? Anyway, Horatio should be here. The peasants are strolling around here. There he is.
What are you doing here? You looking for trouble?
Hey, relax. I'm a newcomer.
Huh? You look okay, though. You never know. You get new guys come along thinking they're it every day.
What's a man like you doing with the peasants?
Lee asked me that. I don't fight anymore, except to defend myself. I killed a guy once. And that was once too many. That's why they chucked me
Oh
in
man,
this
this storyline is still pretty weird. It's like, oh man, I punched a guy to death and I liked it. I didn't really like it. Now I don't want to punch people anymore.
I just must have hit him too hard. I was
Yes, it makes me very salty every time.
I didn't
Oh well. I've seen enough people that have like their hate love relationship with the game they're playing.
Would you use your strength?
I mean, basically every person that plays things like League of Legends or Dota are the exact same. They're hating it, but they're playing it anyway,
Defeat the rice lord
no
yourself.
matter what else.
You help me.
Good. I've sworn I'll never attack anyone again. But I never said I wouldn't teach anyone else to do it.
That's kind of what it is
If you want to
nowadays.
win powerfully, you need to know the right tactics. That's the first thing you learn as a
But
smith.
this is something that I
Learn
really
to push
can't.
your whole arm through, from the
I
shoulder
really
down to
can't
the
understand
wrist. The better you get at that, the more
why
powerful the
people
blow.
continue playing
You'll get the
games
hang
even
of it
though it
pretty quick.
annoys them. Although I guess I have it a little bit with Hearthstone in the sense that it's a problem that you have done so much for you. You have like you put so much work into this account that you just don't want to just stop or just like lose all that progress you did.
I'm sorry for my
So you still continue playing nevertheless, and it's kind of the same in Hearthstone that I just mainly just play it to do my quests and nothing else, and then just stop playing it again, which is kind of a weird thing. But I mean that's also Blizzard in a nutshell. Like all their games are like that. I mean they're the ones that basically what you remember on the bad parts. That's true. That they're the masters of games that just keep you. But I guess it's also,
So with our armor, we should.
I mean, you can also like compare it to like a sport. Like if you do like a sport, like I don't know, I don't know, ice hockey or something like that. I mean, there are games which are good, and there are games who are just a pain in the ass.
Whoa.
But just because you have a game that is you had a game that is a pain in the ass, you still don't stop playing it because you know that maybe the other game is still going to be good. So
Yeah, they're just
so maybe it's not inherently bad.
Sometimes they notice you and sometimes they don't. Come on.
So maybe that's a good way to explain that, or just to,
Oh my god. Forgot that this thing does.
oh my god, is it going to be the first death of this LP?
No, you don't kill me, please. Ah, god damn it.
There you go. No, it's not going to do it for. It's not the first death of the game.
I hate that. Sometimes in combat
yeah.
it's very bitchy. Sometimes you won't really do that.
Also, the reason why I sometimes open and close the go into the menu is because it always has the habit of sometimes just locking up, like where it doesn't stop jumping.
Just save a little bit more.
I like playing some of the Blizzard games, so I don't care if I have that. No.
Weren't there any weapon rats?
Yeah, I guess it's the
To really show you how
like
retarded
the
they are.
base question is always like how much is the disadvantage.
I never really showed the bow yet.
How much is the disadvantage if you are not
Let's
playing
see,
it
they don't
regularly?
do nothing, we can
Like, for example, in Overwatch, there's like basically no real drawback of not playing regularly, unless unlike maybe the only thing is just in the usual thing that you just don't know what heroes are good, what heroes are bad, what changes were made, etc., etc., what balancing changes.
a pity.
But
That's
still, there's not
one
like a
thing
thing
about
like in
Gothic 3, which
in Hearthstone, for example, there is an incentive
actually
or a reason why you should keep playing, in the sense that you need more cards and you also need the new cards of the expansion, which is well mainly the reason why I also still keep playing. Also, by the speaking of random Hearthstone news, I got a new legendary. I opened a new legendary today, which is
kill those mole rats.
borderline useful, I would say.
It's also nice. The scavengers are sleeping at night. If you just randomly walk at them, they will awake and attack you. But I just figured out that you can do side steps and then don't give a shit. Okay, now they awake because I killed his mate. But as you see, they do like no damage. It just packed me, but the life bar was not even quite draining.
Man, I forgot how badly balanced it was. Like, I mean, I only had like the digger pants, and they still did literally no damage to me.
So we reached the old mine.
I mean, this is I mean the lightest armor in the game as far as I'm concerned.
Some tempers from the old from the swamp camp, but I will explain later why they're here. Because this is involved in the plot.
Unamused. Well, this is kind of a niche stream, so I can imagine that you're not amused. I mean, this is like, to put it in perspective, this is a stream about an obscure German RPG, and this stream is about watching an old recording or let's play recording of an old German RPG.
Get our introduction.
So I can imagine that a normie like you is kind of unamused by it or not entertained by it.
This part we're standing in now.
Yeah, it's weird to see does actually make a difference after playing Gothic 3. That's true. Yeah, the damage formula in Gothic 1 is primitive as hell. I mean, it's basically just, this is the damage value, like a scavenger does 10 damage. Here's the armor value of,
Or to use it right there.
What do I need to look out for?
the armor value is 5. So it's just damage minus armor value, and if the armor value is higher, it does literally no damage to you. No, you're amusing, my timing is terrible. What is that? You just call me a normie. Well, you are a normie in the sense that you're in this stream, because you don't really know the environment. Like I'm sure you're still a complete and utter shut in every other aspect, but in here, in this environment you are a normie to us. So you are how do you say that? You're a normie compared to. This is like several layers of norminess, basically. Oh. Oh, I get it. Oh man. Alright, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because from a drama user I usually expect to be much more of an asshole, so that's why I expected the unamused being about not being amused by the scream. Alright. You've been forgiven. That's just me being always expecting the worst of drama users. Or people in general, I suppose.
No. Okay, that's about it. Yeah. That's about it. We're going to explore the old mine in the next episode of Let's Play Gothic. So I hope you will join me. Until then, au revoir. Grüezi and welcome back around to Let's Play Gothic. We're going to explore the old mine. So the old mine is a really big cave and there's much stuff to find, like nearly dying. Oh, I totally forgot to collect some hell mushrooms for the cook of the old camp, Snap. I want to make
You are a new friend.
back
We won't be
right.
unwarrantly rude until you get to know
There are
you
the
better.
raven herbs I mentioned.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you
once.
very
Then I
much.
the only herbs which I'm really going to collect.
So basically I'm still on the trial period. That's what
quite
you're saying currently.
For me, here's a bunch of
But if I don't keep up my activity in the drama subreddit, I suppose I'm not going to be a friend anymore. Also, why am I pinked again twice?
Like this.
General.
I like to play with fire.
Where did I get? Oh, for God's sake! Did you seriously link my stream in the drama general channel? Oh, for the love of God!
Make sure they keep their hands off my chest.
What are you doing here?
I'm watching.
Alright.
That's
He's not very talkative. So we talk to Snipes.
all well, I guess.
Things.
I have a deal to suggest. If you make Aaron leave the chest alone, I'll give you 10 ore.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That's all. Lure Aaron away. The only thing that works is that here.
Ian sent me. You should go to see him at once.
What does he want?
No idea. Ian will tell you that himself. Do you think he'd tell me something like that?
Then I'll go to see him. Let me pass.
Also, I'm not roasting the fuck out of you. It's just friendly bantering.
Going where I stand it. I hate that. It's so stupid. So
You owe me 10 ore.
Here, you've already earned the 10 ore. Oh, and one more thing. I have the key to his chest as well. For you, only 30 ore.
Oh, is it too loud? Is it now again? Yes, the thing is, we're watching a recording, and I'm just adjusting the sound every time. But I think now it should be okay because I'm down at 50. It's basically I always want to like turn up the thing so you can actually hear what the fuck is going, because this is a post analysis of this
can screw over the
old LP recording.
chests, some beer, healing, and some more nuggets.
To explain from everybody who joined through the drama Discord,
More or less.
this is an old recording of a Let's Play I did from 9 years ago.
Shaft.
And for shits and giggles, or rather from a suggestion from somebody, we're basically rewatching that together. So that's why there's stuff moving even though I'm not doing anything. I'm just lowering and raising the volume depending on if I have to say something decent or if it's just listening to the recording.
Standing around for so long must make you thirsty.
I know it's great. It's sadly no.
In this game you need very many.
Oh,
beers.
the master
There is
audio?
Have one on me.
Seriously?
Thanks.
I thought it's actually kind of okay. But not sure if I can turn it up more. Or let me see. Let's see. Can I even do something without fucking up the recording? That should work. Let's see. Do I have like no
So
boost
we
on
were
my
over
microphone or
later
something like that?
away Because first we need to find the guy named Aleph.
Let's
Aleph
see.
is a random digger like the other guy we just met. Snipes was his name.
Oh yeah, I don't have a microphone.
he also
Don't no
likes
microphone boost.
With the guards. So we just need to find him and get the key. Then we can raise
So
and lure of course Ulbert away.
is that better now?
So we climb up the ladders.
So no stream all the way I'm continuous. I can hear just fine by.
Again with some
Ah,
back.
I think it's going to be much much louder now. I think,
What's up here?
or depends on an.
Aleph is here as far as I remember. Is that
Right.
is it?
Just the matter if it's going to be also okay with the thing.
Some more!
Down the
Oh, thank you for following, Pablo.
It's
It's about 10 times on the YouTube vid.
guy right here.
The guards will never get me.
Do you know anything about the key for the chest in the storage shed?
Well,
So how much people from drama are still over here? Because I can imagine that you just watch the stuff, think what the fuck is happening in the stream, and then just leave again.
30 ore should be enough.
all right. I happen to have the key here.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck.
Well, you know where to find me.
Yeah, he's kind of lazy bones because he's only working if the guard is there. I have no idea how he manages that because he just collects less ore than the other ones. So well, I don't know. You can also dig after ore, but as far as I know, that we don't get really don't really get ore. We can. Oh, I got no pickaxe. Pickaxe.
Pickaxe. Does anybody know in the chat if can he actually dig for ore in Gothic 1? Because I heard somebody that like if you dig long enough you actually get something, but it's just not worth it. But I never really bothered to try it out. I always thought it's just like a normal interaction you can do it, but nothing really happens.
So we got actually
Okay, you can't. I figured as much.
bird away from the storeroom, so we can get the stuff in there.
Listen, Ian and the others are sitting at the bottom having grilled meat.
What? Without me? Well, I'll collect my share.
Ah, go you more.
It's like in Arcania where you have the option to do role-playing activities, right?
Till away. Okay, that's
Oh man, remember those days in Arcania?
just in case.
Ah, the barrel hiding. I'm not even sure if I show it off during this LP, because this could be. I think this could be one of the things I didn't know until I finished this game, that you can actually hide in the barrels.
Oh, fireball. That's way better.
But I remember that they were like like many things in this game that they wanted to do it or wanted to implement it in some way, but I just couldn't.
Some bread we can steal. Just because.
Yeah, I think I didn't know that until I finished the game.
So we finally got to see Ian.
Hey, you! If you try to make a fool out of me again, you.
Alright.
You got that?
Should we like start with like a random topic of the day or something like that? I can like look up my great list of random stream topics, because I'm artist like that, because the only thing I do
Yeah, that's it.
is write down things whenever I have.
But you'd better watch out in future. From now on, I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Oh, I'm scared. Don't keep an eye on
Hey,
me.
you, there was no grilled meat at all.
So many things I didn't get used to, like the
I guess I must have been mistaken.
strange thing in the swamp.
See?
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, there's also the whole like bandit camp with Quentin that has zero purpose.
Collect the list.
I thought the weird thing in the swamp was always kind of an interesting thing, that it's like just storytelling through the world. Where it's just all about
We can have some point
all about
But I'm
discussing and thinking what the
down
fuck the
here
purpose
is
is of this thing.
more stuff. There's the melter who has like 750 ore. We can, if we want to.
But alright,
Some stuff.
does anybody want the
I don't
random
need to. This
this
is all
random
we
topic of
actually
the
have
day?
to do in the old mine. This will
Because
play-
one thing that was
play
that recently
gold
came up, or I was
and
curious
jump
about,
in.
is how people feel about dungeon crawling in RPGs, or I guess in just in games in general. Like how much you like how much of an RPG, like if you are the one that prefers prefers things on the, like in the typical sense, like the dungeon is where you have a quest and then you have to say like go there and go through this. Could be a cave, could be a crypt, could be a tomb, or whatever the hell. And the question is, do you like quests like these? Or I mean, there are like games that are basically only dungeon crawling, like many of the D&D style games are basically just going through a huge dungeon. Or for example, Legend of Grimrock 1 is just one huge dungeon. There are also more, because I'm personally somebody who has a huge hard on for dungeons and dungeon crawling. Like that's why I never minded the like in Risen 1, the later game is just like one of the later chapters is just going through 5 dungeons, which many people hated. But I personally quite liked it because I just like going through these deep claustrophobic places. And always has some sort of kind of mysticism to it, because it's just like man-made. Or oh hey, look, I backtracked all the way to the new camp. Man, look at that production value. But I still have I still have this fucking these borders left and right. The open world. I think the thing is also one thing I really like about dungeons is also the thing that they could have like traps. Like this is also one thing, like this is also one of the weird things that I always like kind of platforming. It was the first game that had dungeons besides the final dungeon. Yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, Gothic 1 has like caves and other stuff. Oh hey, that's me casually skipping the gate guard. I love doing that. Yeah, because Gothic 1 just had random caves, which I wouldn't really call a dungeon in the end, because it's usually really quick and not particularly deep. But yeah, one reason I also like kind of I mean, the Temple of the Sleeper is a dungeon. Oh yeah, but it's the final one, duh. But yeah, one thing I also just like about the dungeon things or dungeon design is just also the sequence breaking cheater. Oh, boo-hoo. I also like how again, also like skipping ahead of buying a rune even though I'm not even remotely ready to use it yet. The crawling is my least favorite thing to do. Because that's Sleeper Temple. Yeah, like I think one thing I also still really like is like the factor of traps. Like or traps or just avoiding obstacles. Like for some odd reason many people are also the kinds that hate these kind of things, but I also really still like some sort of platforming challenge or timing challenges in dungeon, even though it's quite like I mean in RPGs it's usually about the fights, where it's about like rolling the higher numbers or whatever the hell, but it's not about avoiding the environment. But I still really like the avoiding traps, like I don't know, swinging pendulums, pit traps, stuff like that, which was technically kind of nice in Oblivion. But the problem was the traps were either A, so incredibly undangerous that they barely did any damage, and B, also so obvious to spot after a while, because it's just Oblivion is just these copy-paste dungeons where you just could exactly see when a trap is coming up again, because it's like, oh, it's that sequence of places, so there has to be a trap.